Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful docuseries called The Enemies Project. And it asks a question that's pretty radical in a world that feels more divided than ever. What if the most rebellious thing you could do is just understand someone you completely disagree with? And boom, the project hits you with this right away. This isn't just some old saying, it's a stark warning. It basically sets the stage for what's at stake here. It's telling us that all these divisions we see everywhere, they're not just arguments. They could be a threat to our entire society. And that really gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. From your social media feed to the nightly news, we're constantly being pushed to pick a side, to slap a label on people, and to see them not as, other humans, but as the enemy. It's a whole culture built on it. So here's the twist. This is the central idea the Enemies Project throws at us. It completely flips the script. It suggests that trying to understand someone isn't weakness, and it's definitely not about agreeing with them. It's an act of defiance. It's you rebelling against the system that wants us at each other's throats. That's a fascinating thought. Okay, so what is this project, really? What's it all about? Let's break it down. And this is the absolute key. You got to get this part. This is not another cable news show where people are just screaming at each other. It's not about winning an argument or scoring points. The goal is totally different. It's to look right past all the angry labels and just try to find the person on the other side. The whole point is connection, not conversion. And let me tell you, they do not hold back. They dive straight into some of the most difficult, most explosive conversations you can even imagine. Let's take a look at some of the pairings they've put together. It gets pretty intense. So first up, they tackle one of the big ones, abortion. On one side, you have Sheena. She is absolutely convinced that the entire pro-life movement is just an effort by men to control women, period. On the other side is John. He believes deeply that Planned Parenthood has a sinister agenda to target Black and Asian babies. I mean, you can't really get further apart than that. And this is what shows you the real stakes. This isn't just about policy for them. It's about fundamental beliefs, morality, justice, and control. So the project asks a really tough question. Is there any path forward here? Is there any way these two could even begin to understand where the other is coming from? All right, check this next one out. This is all about what makes a family. You've got Dorothy, a co-mom, who is intentionally raising her son without a father. And who does she meet? Nico, an activist for traditional families who literally calls her choice straight-up abuse. This is a fundamental clash over the very definition of family. But here's where things get interesting. Here's the potential bridge. For all their bitter disagreement, they both obviously share a deep love for children. So the question becomes, can that one shared value, that one piece of common ground, be enough to create a little bit of compassion where there was only anger? And the project goes right into the heart of one of the most painful conflicts in the world today. You have Najib, a Palestinian man who is terrified that Israel has become something like a Nazi state trying to eradicate his people. And then you have Eliezer, a Jewish man for whom the attacks of October 7th are an absolute moral line. If you don't condemn it, you're a vile human being. The personal trauma here is just immense. The question here is so much bigger than just these two individuals. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, a real conversation between two people could hold a tiny seed of hope for their entire communities. Can a one-on-one human connection even start to mend wounds that are generations deep? Now, this story is incredible because it shows how this all plays out over time. You've got Jack, a progressive, and Matt, a member of the Proud Boys. They meet, and both of them are 100% sure they're going to hate each other's guts. But guess what? The exact opposite happens. They actually become good friends. But the story doesn't stop there. The political landscape shifts, and their friendship gets put to the ultimate test. It's a powerful reminder that this kind of connection is something you have to keep working at. It's never really done. So after seeing all these intense meetups, you might be asking yourself, okay, what's the ultimate point of all this? Let's get right to the core philosophy. And there it is. It's that simple and that powerful. This is a total shift in perspective. The goal isn't to prove someone wrong. It's not about winning. It's simply to find the human being on the other side of the table. This quote just nails it. It really sums up the whole project. Think about that for a second. The person you've been taught to see as the enemy, they're not some monster. They're just another person, shaped by a totally different set of experiences, fears, and hopes. They're just us on the other side of the fence. So where does all this leave us?
Well, the project doesn't just show you these conversations. It actually presents a challenge to every single person watching.
Ultimately, the real takeaway here is an invitation. It's a challenge to try and apply this same idea in our own lives, to try and look past the political labels, the social groups, and all those easy assumptions we make about people every single day. And that brings us to the final, piercing question that this whole thing leaves us with. And it's not about them anymore. It's about you. It's a moment for some real self-reflection. Who is the enemy in your world? And what would happen if you decided to rebel? Just by trying to understand them.